Well, that was fun. My video decided to quit on me. Anyways, so what we were talking about is initially we were talking about um, go like went shopping again today before the live, and um, I was laughing about because last time I talked about how you can either shop online and get curbside pickup and end up paying more per item, and like it saves you time, and you don't see like all the things that are inside the store and end up buying more, so you end up paying more per item, but you're strictly sticking to your list, possibly missing items that you actually need. Or you can go into the store and end up seeing all the things, end up spending more that way, and but getting better produce, obviously, and meats, and also getting run over by the people that are shopping for the curbside pickup and the stalkers. Because when I go, it is typically earlier in the morning when there's not a lot of people, but they are stalking and they are trying to run your ass over. So it's funny. Anyways, as we were saying, so we were talking about getting into like the breakdown is the breakthrough, and also the whole not enoughness lie that we talked about last week. So I feel like a lot of my clients are having these same thoughts right now as far as breakdown right now. And this is very supported with, supportive cosmically, because we have a lot of planets that are aligning. We have a lot of things going on in the universe that is supporting us getting rid of the old and stepping into a new identity, which actually is not a new identity. It's actually really just coming back to who you really are, who you were in the beginning, who you are before you inherited this lie of not being enough or not worthy. So, as we've all heard a million times, is the breakdown is the breakthrough. And that's typically what you're doing is you're coming up against a boundary, but you have to sit in the muck before you can actually catapult out of it. And so it really sounds inspiring on paper, right? Like this phrase, sounds great in theory, but when you're going through it, it's seriously like it's fucking awful. Like it does not feel good. Like life gets messy, your habits slide, your emotions are spiking, you're snapping at people, you can't get sleep, the voice in your head is just freaking on repeat going, what F is wrong with me? And that is part of the breakdown. And what's fascinating about this is that there's a lot of psychological and energetic truth behind it. In psychology, we actually call this is called the disintegration phase, and it's basically where the nervous system physically cannot keep holding on to that outdated identity. And that's a good thing because it starts to release what no longer fits, and it's a good thing, and it's a simple thing, but it is hard. It is not easy. And like this is essentially the death of an identity that you've built up until now. And it doesn't feel great to let go of all the things that you deemed safe to keep you alive, this identity that you built around keeping yourself stay safe, or needing to perform for love, or seeking approval or validation, right? Like this same thing shows up in manifestation too. Like you're outgrowing your old patterns, but in manifestation work, when your frequencies start shifting, and that's what's happening here, is you're letting go of those old patterns and those old frequencies that no longer align, and you start shifting to match a higher version of yourself. And so everything that's built on that old identity, that old vibration, it starts to fall apart. And it feels really not great, right? Like it's not sabotage though. Like this is not a literal death. Like it's a death of your identity, but it's not a death. Like it feels like you're freaking dying, but like it's literally, it's just realignment. You're just realigning. So when you think of this, like when you meet your shadow side, your and we like to call this the not me side, right? Like this is the part of you that you'd rather ignore. You have like these stipulations like I will never do that. I will never be that way, right? Like and that's the things that you judge the most about other people are typically the things that you won't allow yourself to go there. You will seriously judge yourself if you go there. And like this is the parts of you that will procrastinate, they'll numb out, they'll disassociate, they'll lash out, they'll stay too busy to actually be in that shadow side, to feel that. And the thing is, like, to let yourself feel it and be it and do it, like, that's the threshold of breaking through. Like, that's the wall that you have to get through. It's the threshold of freedom. The problem is, like, you know, the resistance there, that's the doorway. The problem is we're too scared to get past that doorway. So, again, with the thing that you judge most in yourself is usually the version of you that needs to be integrated, not fixed. We get to see that side of our that shadow side of ourselves and actually embrace it. And that's, you know, like in the manifestation world, this is where the expansion, the quantum leaps happen. And when you face the version of yourself that says, I can't do this anymore, I can't handle it, instead of bypassing it and you hold it, you breathe through it, that's your portal. That's how you catapult into the next level, because nothing new can anchor into an identity that's still pretending to just be okay, to be fine. So if it feels like you're doing all the things that you shouldn't right now, like, you know, you're anxious, your nervous system's on higher alert, you're reactive, you're not on your normal routine, don't beat yourself up. That breakdown might just be your system clearing the space for what's next. And it's the compost before the bloom. So the only job this season is to just stay curious, like stay curious of what's going on. Notice your cracks. But instead of patching them, ask like, what version of me is ready to emerge through them? When you can love yourself in that chaos, the rise is inevitable. And so let this be a reminder. You're not failing. You're simply unfolding. The breakdown isn't the end. Your initiation into this life of your highest self has been holding, like this is where it's been holding open for you all along. It just is waiting for you to walk through. So, you know, a little bit more about the not me portion of this. So not me is actually a psychological thing that you know, it's the drop before the rise. Again, embracing your shadow side. So it's the part of yourself that you've tried so hard not to be. Like, it's the impatient parent. It's the jealous friend. It's the procrastinator. It's the one who eats and hides or overworks, even when you tell yourself that I know better. So most of us spend our lives trying to outrun the shadow. And the thing is, again, embracing the not me is often the exact thing that accelerates your evolution. So there's a growth pattern that is basically that moves through 4 letters. So it's like A, B, C, D. So A is where like everything is smooth sailing. Like you're just walking through life. You know what's going to happen later today, tomorrow, the next day. Like, you know, you can think about it as, you know, mundaneville. But everything feels predictable. Like, you know what's going to happen. No, right? You know what's going to happen next. And it's pretty predictable. So you're just walking through life in A. So B is where something strikes, like you notice that something has to change. Like maybe Mundaneville isn't comfortable anymore. You just feel like you're a human doing instead of a human being. Like you're just walking through life and everything feels like it's not right. So your awareness strikes, something has to change. So it's like a little bump here. And then C is the crash. This is like your rock bottom, the confusion, the moment when everything feels like it just freaking explodes and nothing works. And this is the underworld. This is the ego's breaking point where basically all the old strategies that you've done, they stop working. And it's painful because the identity you built to stay safe up until this point dissolves. And so the messed up thing is that you can feel like everything is completely disastrous and breaking apart and nothing, like as you're at your rock bottom and you could still be in the B. You haven't hit your C yet. Because what happens is when we start to, slide down that hill into the sea, into the rock bottom part, and we get to a point and we're like, I don't want to feel it. No, we're not doing this. And you'll bump back up to B. And you don't fully go into that sea. But the silly thing is that actually getting into the sea and feeling it and embracing it and letting it happen it's your launch pad. Like your trampoline is at the bottom of that sea. And if you don't let yourself get to the bottom, you don't catapult up. So C is not the failure. It is the launch pad. When you allow yourself to drop fully into that descent instead of fighting it, you build the very momentum that catapults you into the D. And the D is your next expansion. This is the integrated self. This is you broke the pattern. You shattered the old identity into something new. And psychologically, this is where the nervous system resets. That's how it resets. Energetically, it's like the pulling back the bow to the bow and arrow, like the slingshot effect. It's basically the contraction before the release. So the not me is simply your denied potential in disguise. And each shadow, the anger, the envy, the laziness, the fear, it carries data about what your soul actually wants, what your future self already has. Your anger points at boundaries. Your envy points to desire. The fear points towards expansion. And when you can stay curious instead of ashamed, the shadow becomes your teacher, not your enemy. So if you're in the B phase or the C phase right now, the messy middle, like take heart. You're not regressing, you're reforming. And the breakdown is that sacred initiation. Like it's your old self cracking open to make more room for alignment. So let yourself fall, let yourself drop, breathe into it there. Because that's the moment when the trampoline loads beneath you. It's like, jumping before the parachute is built. And when you rise higher than that old identity could ever reach. So, I love this subject, and it's hard to go there, and I get it. So, I don't know if y'all saw, but next Thursday, tomorrow, tomorrow is the day before the 12/12 portal. So December 11th, tomorrow, Thursday, we are doing another Healing Day event. So this is at 6 p.m. Central. And so, it's again the night before a very powerful 12/12 portal, but we're using the 90 breath work. We're doing some energy clearing. We're releasing those old layers that block your divine feminine embodiment, because right now it's very much about embracing that divine feminine. So I want you to come. I want you to come ready to exhale what no longer serves and expand into what's next. I want you to invite your friends. So I'm going to drop the link in here. This, again, it's a free event. All you have to have is your Zoom link, your headphones in a quiet spot for about an hour, hour and a half. So, we are collapsing the timeline here. This isn't about what is the word? I'm trying to say like smoothing it over or spiritual, not regressing, but bypassing. There we go. Spiritual bypassing. This is not spiritual bypassing. By getting you out of that sea, this is helping you release so that you can go through that sea and catapult yourself up. So I really hope to see you guys there. It is something that I give back to my community I try to do it every month, but sometimes it's every 2 months. But it's a way for me to give back and let you really experience the work. So please come, invite your friends, register for it. I'm going to drop the link for it in the comments, and I really hope to see you guys there. I love you all. I hope you have an amazing rest of the week, and I hope you have an amazing holiday. Bye now, and we'll see you there.